messing with you. Don't worry, we'll get to the actual screen. Hi there. Hey, it's Tobias, and this is Troubadork show number 35. Stunning that we have this many. Really stunning, frankly. I'm kind of stunned. But then, too, I've also been hitting the head a lot, so I am fairly hydrated. Probably more caffeinated than is good for me. And I have finally decided that it is time for us to break out the silly hats. Yes, the silly hats. A bastion of the Tobias the Adequate aesthetic, as it were. This one right over here. Hi. Yep, this is the hat. Some of you may recognize the mode of this hat if you have gone to the Texas Fair circuits and or have been to the Texas Fairs, specifically TRF, back in the late 90s, the 90s, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, I think. You'll note this hat was made by one Lady Draw. I'm not taking calls anymore. I'm in fact not here. I'm off work. I will sign out. I will be a complete pain in the butt and not answer that call. This was made by Lady Draw. Lady Draw was a costumer. She has since retired, but on her land she raised guinea hens. And one of the things she knows is guinea hens drop feathers. So she decided to try putting a few feathers on her hats to see how they would go. They went well. They were well received. This is a Lady Draw hat from the mid-'80s, as a matter of fact. Mid-'80s, late 90s. Early 90s, I should say. And the second Lady Draw costume piece I have ever owned. The first one is a cloak, which is a big, warm, fuzzy cloak, which I'm not going to wear right now because it's hot outside. But this hat, on the other hand... It's Texas and it's May, exactly. This hat, on the other hand, I wanted to wear as Tobias the Adequate, but we had some logistical concerns, not the least of which being rain. However, I have worn this for Renaissance on the River, the second year that it was run at La Villita in San Antonio. Yes, this hat, Kay is noting, this hat is probably the same age as his sister. Yeah, it's that old. I'm that old. This is not just a hat, though. As my wife puts it, this is a letter of marque. Put this hat on, man walks down the street wearing a hat like this, you know he ain't afraid of nothing. And that's true. That's kind of the point. This show will be all about stuff that I wrote. Why? Because I can. That's why I wrote this. Also, because it's a chance for me to try and get a couple of songs out properly. It's been a little hard to do for some reason. I seem to be more of a acoustic ballad kind of guy than a banger of loud songs. Yes, TRF, Texas Renaissance Festival, Chris. That's the largest Renaissance festival in the entire frickin' United States. It's bloody huge. And one day I will probably wear this hat out there again, unless I sweat to death first. So I want to do a few songs that I have written. Initially, most of these songs actually had the word ballad as part of their name because I wasn't feeling particularly creative. You'll notice in the credits that we were talking about something as a song or a tune or a saga or something like that, and they're all ballads. I know it. I know. One day, I will learn what these strings are for. But let's go ahead and do the first one. While you're all reeling from this bizarre headgear that I'm wearing. Yes! Pirate song. Yarr. Yarr. This almost looks like a piratey hat, doesn't it? if it had something other than a giant, gaudy sequin star in it. We find ourselves our prey, me hearties, heed well to me call. We'll launch our ships and stealthily we'll glide over the wall. We'll land as soft as feathers, and we'll gently pick their locks. We'll pounce upon our prey, me boys, and then we'll steal their socks. So pirates and dirigibles, the sky be where we roam, just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. So pirates of the sky, me boys, the clouds be where we roam. We'd all turn on us sailors if we just could make our own. The City Watch, they know our ship, each one does know our names. They stalk down us poor sailors, and upon us heap their shame. We'll ransack every port and town for hosiery we adore. 'Tis not so much a fetish, more a way of keeping score. So pirates and dirigibles, the sky be where we roam. We're looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. So pirates of the air, me boys, the clouds be where we roam. Would all turn us on as sailors if we just could make our own. We'd almost had our fill, me lads, but we made one stop more. Accosted a fair maiden coming out of the yarn store. Boating accident. This plucky lass, she was quite brave. She did not flinch a bit. She glared us down defiantly and taught us how to knit. Well, that's not so hard. What you do, you stab it, you wrap it around the other one, then you hang it out to dry. So pirates of the sky no more, no longer do we roam. We'd all turned on as sailors who know how to turn a toe. So pirates of the sky no more, we've settled down at home. We've all turned on as seamen now that we can make our own. Yeah. I swear, we put the hat on, and the goofy factor just escalates right up through the roof. It really does. This hat, by the way, is one of several items which I was told I was to never, ever, 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 ever wear on deck as a sea dog. Ever. Not even once. It's true. It was just... Yes. Kay is saying could be worse. Chris is saying too much hat. Kay said it could be a pool noodle. Could be pool noodles. Yes, a social distancing hat. But honestly, if I do get booked as the Troubadork, this hat, weather permitting, this hat makes a comeback. And is out there because then people are, well, how do I find him? Look for the hat. Side note, if you ever want to really mess with somebody at a Renaissance festival, right before they go in the gate, walk up and go, beware the man in the hat, and then just walk away. The rest of his day gets very interesting indeed. And if you've been to Renaissance festivals, you know why. Alright, I feel fairly good about my world. Now, the next song I'm going to do is one which I have attempted to do a couple of times, and I have run into problems with it for a number of reasons. I try to make this kind of a banger song, and it's not. It's one of what's becoming a genre for me, light, fluffy songs about weird subjects. Big shock there. Specifically, in this case, what I like to refer to as All I Want. I wrote Internet Famous a few years back, and I wanted to write a Renaissance version of it, and I couldn't quite get exactly what I wanted out of that. So I started thinking about, well, what's the whole point? The whole point is that when you're at a Renaissance festival, it's basically you and 1,000 of your closest friends running around at top speed, all shouting at the top of their lungs, all trying to attract attention of the people who have come here that don't work here every weekend. It's basically, hey, check me out, in a big way. And this song kind of sums it up. And the most important thing I have to remember here is this. I have a terrible tendency to bottom out on this song. But I've noticed something. If I smile when I'm singing it, I don't bottom out on the song. How about that? That's like a musical thing. One day, when I have talent, this will all make sense. Another idiot in burlap wandering around a blasted pasture trying to attract attention from the people in the Shire. Another idiot in burlap acting out to get some eyeballs, just wants to be famous, if only for a while. 'Cause all I want is for everyone to love me. All I need is for everyone to care. All I desire is just unbridled admiration. I want to be the most important person at the fair. Got the acting bug in high school. For any costumes, they look so cool. Hitch my wagon to the fair to see where I could go. The villagers are all my sis and brothers, all shouting louder than the others. 'Cause at Ren Fair, then everyone's the star of their own show. Unbridled admiration. I want to be the most important person at the fair. Worked all year to make my costume, hand sewn every single button. Now research that went into this just borders on obscene. So pardon me if I sound grumpy, but I feel so blasted frumpy. Why's that one get all the attention? Just 'cause she's the queen. Unbridled admiration. I want to be the most important person at the fair. One more time. All I want is for everyone to love me. All I need is for everyone to care. All I desire is just unbridled admiration. I want to be the most important person at the fair. I want to be the most important person in this chair. I want to be the most important person at the fair. Woo! Yes. Kayli notes that she was under the impression that everyone at fair was shy and retiring. Well, I think we are all, in fact, introverts, but we all need a ridiculous amount of validation. Kay notes the song is perfectly in his range. That's because Kay is a baritone, and I kind of resent him for that, but that's okay. I think that time it went well. If I smile, I don't bottom out. I do want to be the most important person in this chair. I'm the only person in this chair, and therefore, statistically speaking, I am the most important person in this chair. And how's that for babbling? Really? I went to college. I studied logic, or logger, or lasagna. Well, it started with an L. I'm almost certain of that. It's a bit of a blur. It was a little hectic. Oh my goodness. So that song felt a lot better, and now it is time for us to do something which I have threatened to do on Facebook a few times, and that is unleash yet another song to an unsuspecting populace. This particular song is, in fact, an advertising jingle that I started to write a couple of years ago, and it was one of those where it started off kind of strong and then just like sat, and it sat in my notes right there for a year or two. And after a year or two, I came back to it because I was having this wonderful bout of actually being able to write songs. I've written a startling number of these goofy little songs in the past 3 months. Really worried about that. I'm sure that somebody out there, a psychology major, can come up with what's going on here. It's not baking, which is why I'm losing weight. I am losing weight, by the way. I think I've dropped like 25 pounds. I know, right? Weird. Everyone else is gaining the weight I lost, apparently, but that's a whole other conversation to be had. This song is written in honor of and to promote an extraordinarily useful manual of self-defense concocted by the one and only Oscar Hasselhoff, the German master of defense. Well, that's how he introduces himself, including the clapping. And it's about the Hasselhoff maneuver, against which there is no defense. Works 100% of the time. Every single time, even when it doesn't quite work, it still works. And if you have seen the Adult School of Sword, or the Children's School of Sword, that he holds at various fairs and festivals, or have seen the Tournament of Champions, which he holds at Sherwood Forest Fair or Texas Renaissance Fair, and again a number of other areas, other festivals, you may be familiar with the Hasselhoff maneuver. And it is a lovely song that I have written. It is very light. It is very floaty. The notes I have in here to perform is called Very Light and German. I know, right? Light and German? Well, you know, the thing about German as a language and as a people is that people tend to think that German is very, very strict, very angry, very tense, lots of... But German as a language and German as a culture has an ability to be incredibly goofy. Not just goofy in the German Brothers German Raps show, which I have seen and have actually shared a stage with at one time, and that was a real experience, let me tell you that. But you can be German is actually a wonderful dialect to be goofy in, because being goofy in German, they just don't care. You get goofy in German, it is just everything out the window, nobody cares anymore. What the heck? Woohoo! Ahem. Woohoo. Ahem. Hey, Kimberly. Light and German. I was gambling in Helsinki, down upon mine luck. Or a lot of these big Flemish guys, I felt that I was stuck. I thought I was a goner, sure surrounded by my foes. Then I remembered Hasselhoff, and he solved all mine woes. He said, just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. A lovely way to get above whatever makes you blue. Just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. It's amazing what a little flick of wrist and arm can do. You see? It is direct, it is simple, it is effective. Well, I cleared myself out of there and I fled down to the bar. I happily sipped lager, maybe 2 or 15 jars. Some massive Swedish mercenary spoke ill of my ma. I did not think that I could escape this peril quite unscarred. And then I thought of Oscar Hasselhoff. And he said, just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. A lovely way to get above whatever makes you blue. Just grab them by the crotch, and then throw them out the window. It's amazing what a little flick of wrist and arm can do. I had gathered quite a crowd, by this feat I did perform. I ordered me another round, for I had grown quite warm. But when the time to settle came, pleas for credit were all scorned. And though I tried to stand my ground, mine fate was quite forewarned. for they too had read Hasselhoff. So they grabbed me by the crotch, yip, and they threw me out the window, yay! Well, that was darn effective, I thought, as I was passing through. Yes, they grabbed me by the crotch, and they threw me out the window. Yes, sir, it seems the fenestration works as well on me as you. Grab them by the crotch and throw them out the window. Available at disreputable booksellers everywhere. And this song is available on my new folio, Music to Get Beaten Up By. No, Music to Get Beaten Up To. Because even if you roll it up into a tight tube, you really can't get a good swinging with a roll of paper like that. Well, I think that was a success. I think that when Master Hasselhoff hears this song, he will be moved. I think that when Master Hasselhoff sees me after hearing this song, his fist may be moved to my face. Oh, I'm having fun. I hope y'all are having fun. That was... Darian needs to hear this one for Frederick. But you know, it's kind of a... It's a song for all people, really. I mean, all you have to do is grab them by the crotch and throw them out the window. A window is useful in this case. Some people carry their own around with them, and it takes a few moments to set it up first. So, you know, it's a good idea to find a place where there is a window. Oh, you found it! Grab them by the crotch and throw them out the window. Available at disreputable booksellers everywhere. I knew we had one of these. Thank you. My lovely wife found this for me. We do have everything labeled. We've been spending... While I've been spending several days doing this goofy show, my lovely wife has been out there organizing the library, which is not a dainty task. And I let her organize the library because she's the organizing person and I am the loud distraction. I think Hasselhoff may have heard a trailer for it, Michael. Michael's wondering if Hasselhoff has heard it. I fully intend to record it, even if it's just to scrape it off of this particular video and put it somewhere where he can see it, because let's be honest, he needs to hear this. It's so much fun. And I will be performing this live the next time I am where the Tournament of Champions or the School of Sword is, because I think he would be very happy for me to do the little jingle and just drop him by the crotch once and throw him out the window and you sell the book. So there you go. See, it's synchronicity or whatever. It's there's a word for that. Where like I do stuff and it benefits other people. That's right, aggressive venture philanthropism. That's how that goes. All right, one more song, and this one is another one that I've actually been singing this to myself while I've been puttering around in the kitchen, and it is one that I think I may try to scrape off of this video for the other person that This song was written very specifically for a member of cast who was also a member of Synergy, Symbiosis, Sympathetic, Simba. No, we're not going to do that joke. Yes, those words, Kayli and Kay, yes. Kayli and Kay both talking to me at the same bloody time. Alright, nobody else whose first name begins with K is allowed to speak until after they're gone. That could be a problem. Because we have a Kimberly in here, and we have a Rellie, which starts with an R, but if I'm squinting really hard, it could start with a K. But that's... I distract myself. I didn't change the script. The sign, did I? No, I didn't. That was a Hasselhoff ballad. Grab them by the crotch and throw them out the window. Well, it's not really a Troubadork show unless I completely muck up something in a technical aspect, so I guess we're doing all right then, aren't we? We must be fine. I probably could even go back and fix this in post-production. You like how I kind of swirled the cursor around on the sign to show you that I was talking about this? Anyway, but I digress. It's Monday, and it's a happy Monday so far. Last song of the show is actually about a member of cast at Scarborough who is also a member of Queen Margaret's court. Queen Margaret of Scotland and the Isles and and sometimes Wales. I don't know the whole thing. I don't have to know the whole thing. I am not Scottish, but she has been incredibly kind over the years and let me come out and do weird stuff at Scottish court which has led to the Artisanal Gibberish book, and which in a lot of ways leads to this show right now that's happening right here. And this song is about the mighty Captain Peaches. Captain Peaches is Her Majesty's Keeper of the Combs and Brushes. And, when I say he's a bit flamboyant, I'm being subtle. We sing of thieves and noblemen who sail the bounding seas, but this here ditty ain't about a single one of these. I sing of a daring swashbuckler who spans the bounding reaches, the mighty, mighty corsair who is known as Captain Peaches. So batten down the hatches, boys, and dust the chandelier, for piracy is stylish whenever that pirate's near. He'll smite down any scalawag and leave the lady speechless. There's not a pirate as daring as the mighty Captain Peaches. He sails the endless bounty on the mighty raging queen, a ship the likes of which you poor landlubbers never seen. She's got 16 gilded cannon and the decks are always clean, and theas her quite promptly every day at 4:19. So batten down the hatches, boys, and dust the chandelier, for piracy is stylish whene'er that pirate's near. He'll smite down any scalawag and leave the lady speechless. There's not a pirate as daring as the mighty Captain Peaches. Queen Margaret's royal hairdresser, his bravery knows no bounds. His enemies quake when his cry to the pits with them resounds. The fiercest enemies have at his mercy quite compound, for he leaves his captured foeman better groomed than when he found. It's his aesthetic. So batten down the hatches, boys, and dust the chandelier, for piracy is stylish whene'er that pirate's near. He'll smite down any scalawag and leave the lady speechless. There's not a pirate as daring as the mighty Captain Peaches. His ship at Scarborough Harbor has a special pride of place, as it can't sail very far with pastel sails all made of lace. It's an aesthetic, but the captain and his ship are works of art we'd ne'er debase, and once he pays his dock fees, then he's free to leave this place. So batten down the hatches, boys, and dust the chandelier, for piracy is stylish whene'er that pirate's near. He'll smite down any scalawag and leave the lady speechless. There's not a pirate as daring as the mighty Captain Peaches. One more time. Sing it! So batten down the hatches, boys, and dust the chandelier, for piracy is stylish whene'er that pirate's near. He'll smite down any scalawag and leave the lady speechless. There's not a pirate as daring as the mighty Captain Peaches. Whew! I feel good. Yes, indeed, Michael. Why shouldn't piracy be fabulous? In the words of Zorro, there is no crime in being poor, only in dressing poorly. Also, piracy's kind of flamboyant to begin with it. I mean, enormous hats, for example. Great big floppy boots. Far too much lace and fiddly bits on the coats. All that kind of stuff. Among the captain and the higher up officers, all of the working pirates tend to be fairly low encumbered because they're the ones doing all the running and jumping and climbing up and down the rigging. Because you can get stuck on that stuff with a hat like this. You ever try to go through a porthole with a giant hat with a feather in it? No, it doesn't work very well, does it? No, it does not. But I digress. And I gleefully digress because it is Monday. It is Monday, and it is Monday, beginning of the week. That will be a short week for Tobias, because Tobias has a day job. And under normal circumstances, we would be going to Scarborough Renaissance Festival this weekend. We would be going out to Scarborough to do the long weekend. Whether or not I'm booked, I love to do the long weekend. See people, make some noise at Scottish Court, hug a lot of people, and just have fun. And take the Friday off beforehand so we can drive way the heck north. And then take the Tuesday off after Memorial Day so we can stagger way the heck south without wearing ourselves to a frazzle, because we're now in our 50s and would like to pace ourselves just a little bit. Now, sadly, it's not going to happen. However, I do plan to do at least this show on Monday. There's been some discussion of having a sing-along show, and I'm trying to figure out if that means I should find a way that we can all sing together, or if I should just put together some cards with the lyrics on them so y'all can sing the choruses along with me as I do the show. Those are both valid. And if you want to put some comments in as to which way you think I ought to go with this, I'm entirely open to it, because I have no frickin' idea what I'm doing here. I'm really making this stuff up as we go along. You know this as well as I do. So let us discuss amongst ourselves, but also let us get on to a couple of other things here, folks. First and foremost, the tip jars, you know where they are. They're over here. PayPal.me/theadequate, Ko-fi.com/theadequate. Any money you put in goes towards the Get Tobias a Real Camera, and a little bit more extra stuff to add to the production value of this wonderful non-commute show thing that I do. I am planning to continue to do shows like these even when I do go back to my day job on a regular basis. They'll just become weekend shows. See? Because I want to do this, because I enjoy this, and I hope y'all enjoy it too. SoundCloud.com/Matthew-Laguerre is where I keep a lot of recorded stuff. You can find the old shows archived at Facebook.com/TobiasTheAdequate, and also on YouTube.com/MPLEGARE in the Troubadork playlist. I do update Facebook first, and then I'll update the YouTube playlist about once a week to get that. Otherwise, I have to upload like stupidly every night, and this takes way too long. But Friday, I don't actually do a show, so I can just stack them up once in a while here, just on top of each other. All right, Patreon.com/theadequate. Thank you to Kayli and Richard and Rellie and John and Brian and Laureen and Alysia and everybody else who has ever supported me. Some of them have come and gone, and I understand that. That's because that's the way the world works. Supporting adequacy in our lifetime encourages me to continue to do this stuff. It encourages me to continue to try to build more up. And I have to tell you right now, I am having far too much fun doing this music stuff. I really am. I am thrilled by the fact that I can do this as just a knock-around hobby, and y'all are actually willing to say, maybe I'll put some money in his tip jar. Just to see that look on his face. Bewildered gratitude. That'll work. Also, there are some actual benefits to being a Patreon patron, including copies of, at certain levels, copies of the Artisanal Gibberish ebook and whatever other artisanal gibberish stuff I come up with. A physical copy of the ebook in some cases, a copy of the book in some cases, buttons, and of course the You're So Darn Smart, You Write a Song ability to request not only a song for me to perform, but also give me a topic that I will actually have to write a song about. And considering the fact that I've done songs about platypus postmen and about Ren Fair people and about grabbing people by the crotch and throwing them out the window and about all kind of goat tubes, I've done a lot of weird songs. I am not afraid of anything you guys can give me as a song topic, so go ahead. Dare ya. Carpe Diem Comics is the official emotional support comic shop of Tobias the Adequate, the Troubadork Show, the Adequate Podcast, anything else I can think of to do. You can find them at carpediemcomicsonline.square.site and also physically in McKinney, Texas. They are doing well. Today is once again not that day, and I think it's absolutely awesome for them. Quick side note in regard to the podcast. Yes, the podcast has been on hiatus. I am pondering taking some of what I do here and turning it into podcast material, because Anchor.fm has said, hey, if you're doing video casts, you can actually turn them into podcasts. And some of you listen to me anyway. I know there's at least one person who actually listens to me while on a bicycle, which is not the best time to be looking at a little screen. So, hey, it could work. It could happen. Why not? That's it for this one. I have been very, very happy and very fortunate that you guys have been encouraging my behavior. Thank you for doing so. Thank you for continuing to encourage my behavior. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 4:30, this channel, and we'll do some more stuff. So we'll do 2 more things, because it is now tradition, as we have those sort of things. First of all, we'll go back to the slide. There it is. Hey. Thank you all so very much for listening and hanging out with me and chatting with me, because without y'all here, this really has absolutely no purpose whatsoever. We'll fade to black just a little bit there. And note that the cheese puff was invented in 1930s by 2 different corn meal manufacturers. So ponder that for a moment. At the same time, the same decade, in 2 different places, 2 different guys said, you know what I could do with this corn? I could paint it orange and make it taste like cheese. Far out. See you next time.